Hey AJ, Joe Sherman here. Question a little bit about work. So I'm a manager in the aviation industry. I work normal office hours. However, my job requires me to kind of be at attention at all times. That way, if any problem arises and anything I kind of need to problem solve. That is why I like my job so much, is because it's constantly challenging me. But unfortunately, I'm getting calls sometimes through the night, very early in the morning. I would love to be able to put my phone away, at 8 p.m. and be able to pick it back up at 8 in the morning. But unfortunately, that's not really possible for me. So I wanted to see if you had any advice on finding a healthy work-life balance in an industry that kind of works that way, where you're constantly might need to be contacted. Any advice helps. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Great question.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Great question. So somebody asked a similar question when Allie was on the podcast with me, and we talked about it a little bit, but just depending on what mood you catch me in, I'm probably going to answer this in a completely different way. I have the privilege now to be able to have the team to where and you guys probably have experienced this, I disappear pretty early in the night.
Yeah.
Right. If you're texting me at 8, even maybe 7:30, I'm MIA.
It's nice when I'm trying to get approval for a video. I'm like, just got to go out in the morning, AJ.
He's gone.
4:30, he's in bed.
4:30. And then you probably won't hear from me before
10.
Yeah, maybe 9.
Yeah.
But definitely not before 9.
Yeah.
So in between 9 and 10 is probably when you're going to hear from me in the morning. Because I try to really distance myself from the phone at night, and I try to distance myself from the phone in the morning. I feel that helps me all around with creativity, with all of it. The biggest thing is if you don't have the option to do that, because otherwise, nighttime aside, there isn't much of a balance with my job. It's kind of like I'm at attention all the time. If I get a call from Tony or if I have to approve a video, it happens at any point.
Yeah.
I won't, like, if I'm at dinner with Allie, I'll get through the dinner and then I'll approve the video after the fact. But I'm working at all random hours throughout the day. So the biggest thing is, I would say, you need to be able to create a perspective of kind of what you said, which is you enjoy the challenge. So when the challenge arises, whether it's at 4 p.m. in the afternoon or if it's at 10:30 at night, that you can quickly be effective and creative and create a solution and then move past your issue, and then you're good. I think where the work-life balance becomes tricky for people is where when the work stresses them out. As long as the work doesn't stress you out, like when I have a problem arise on the team, or if something's not done the way I want it, or we have to just make a pivot and do something a little different, because ultimately that's what my job kind of is I'm like solving problems constantly.
Yeah.
It's what owning a business is. What's up, everybody? AJ from the Moto Academy here. We have just released new content inside of the Moto Academy app. If you want one-on-one training in motocross, enduro, anything 2 wheels, go to club.themotoacademy.com. Train online with us today. There's some times where it stresses me out, and Allie can definitely attest to that, but usually it doesn't. Usually I'm quick thinking, I handle it, and then you move forward. So therefore it just doesn't create like I remember the days of going to bed and not being able to go to bed, sitting there like this, trying to go to sleep, and my mind is just going a million miles an hour and not being able to fall asleep. Or the days where I would wake up to an alarm, which was horrible, like that, whatever the nasty iPhone alarm is. And then it's the first thing I do. As soon as I open my eyes, my phone's in front of my face and there's issues. And I'm like because what it does is it puts you in a reactive state, whether it's right before you go to bed or especially right when you wake up in the morning. You don't want to be in a reactive state. You want to make sure that you're approaching the issues like proactively with a clear, still mindset. I guess that'd be a good way to explain it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's easy, especially when you own your own business, or maybe it sounds like even what you do, to where it can become all-consuming. That's a dangerous thing.
Yeah, I would say but it's tough. Like I would say sometimes if I'm editing or whatever, and it just becomes like too much, I'll just walk away for an hour, go to the store with one of my friends, or go to the ski mountain for a little bit. But I don't know if he could do that because he's always got to have his phone. Because like when I do that, I'll put my phone on do not disturb and hang out with a friend for an hour and just get away from it.
If you can, that's a good strategy. Because you will, you know, if like you were struggling with something or trying to think of something or to solve something, you're just grinding at it and not making any forward progress. When you step away from it and then you clear your mind from it for a little bit, a lot of times, you know, kind of like the idea will pop into your head.
Yeah.
Or if you just need to just diffuse for a little bit. But when Allie and I were at the Point last time, I don't know if I had told this story yet or not, but they have these really, really expensive puzzles that are like $5,000 for the puzzle.
Wow.
And so we spent one day just doing a puzzle. And
how was that?
Oh, it was great. I loved it. Do you like puzzles?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, and this was the hardest puzzle of all time because the puzzle pieces there was no image. So that's the catch. You don't know what you're putting together for the puzzle.
Oh, so the puzzle's made a picture, but you didn't have your little cheat sheet on the box.
Right. But the pieces themselves are the shape of clues of what the picture is going to be. So you can kind of like figure it out. Like, let's say it's like dogs. I think this one was like, it was a dog park. So there was dogs everywhere. So you got the gist, but it was like, of course, it's one of those puzzles where every piece looks exactly the same almost.
Yeah. And
so Allie and I were trying to do this and she didn't understand the philosophy here, but every hour, that's how long we were sitting down here, maybe every half hour, I would tell her to get up and go sit on a different side of the puzzle or have us switch spots so we could have a different perspective. And then next thing you know, like forward progress again, because you have a completely different perspective looking at it.
That's a good strategy for that. Yeah.
Even if it's in the same spot, but you go from sitting to standing, that perspective change is even enough.
Usually
it's good practice.
We have to do that in my house just because we have terrible light. So you gotta like move because the glare is different. You can't see some pieces.
That's funny. Yeah, I like puzzles. Good question. If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, make sure you go download them on Spotify and Apple Music. If you want to watch full episodes or be a person that sends in your own video submission, go to club.themotoacademy.com and subscribe to join the Moto Academy family today.